Hey, everyone ready for us to get started? Okay, I have a 27-page speech here I'm going to do to start it off. No, just kidding. Okay, I wanted to, so our Pottsgrove administration, our families, coaches, supporters, and most importantly, our esteemed senior athletes. One late arrival there. It is with great pleasure that I would like to welcome you to the Pottsgrove Booster Club Senior Athletic Awards Ceremony. Tonight we gather here to honor the remarkable achievements, dedication, and resilience of our exceptional high school athletes. Sports have always held a special place in my heart, not only for the thrill of competition, but for the invaluable life lessons they impart. Throughout countless hours of training, the sacrifices made, the bonds forged, our senior athletes have displayed exemplary commitment, teamwork, and unwavering spirit. They have embodied the true essence of sportsmanship both on and off the field. I'd like to thank all of you, all you parents that over the years have volunteered for the Booster Club. A special thanks this year to our board members. They have all played an important part in making tonight possible through their fundraising efforts and support of our club. Behind every extraordinary athlete stands a group of unsung heroes, their family. Tonight, we would like to acknowledge and pay tribute to the immense sacrifices these important people have made to support their athletic dreams and aspirations. From the earliest days of our athletes' sporting journeys, our families have been there, cheering from the sidelines, offering words of encouragement, providing unwavering support. They have sacrificed countless hours dedicating their time and energy to ensuring their children have every opportunity to succeed. Early morning practices, long drives to tournaments, late nights, waiting for their child to return home from away games. These are just a few of the countless sacrifices that our families have made. It doesn't stop there, though. Our families have also played the roles of cheerleaders, counselors, and confidants. They have celebrated the victories, wiped away the tears of defeat, and offered a listening ear during moments of doubt. Their love and unwavering belief in their athletes' abilities have provided the foundation upon which our senior athletes have built their successes. To the family members gathered here tonight, we express our deepest gratitude for the sacrifices that you have made. Your dedication, love, and unwavering support have been the driving force behind the achievements of those that we honor tonight. You have been pillars of strength, always ready to uplift and encourage our athletes, no matter what the outcome. Your selflessness has not gone unnoticed, and we celebrate your commitment to nurturing our athletes' dreams. Could everyone please give a hand to all the families here that have supported our athletes over the years? Equally deserving of recognition tonight are our exceptional coaches who have dedicated themselves to honing the skills and talents of our athletes. Their unwavering commitment, expertise, and passion have instilled in our athletes the belief that anything is possible with hard work and determination. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our coaches for their tireless efforts. Can we give a hand to all our coaches over here? To our senior athletes, you have left an indelible mark on Pottsgrove, and we are immensely proud of your accomplishments. Your athletic prowess has brought honor to Pottsgrove, and your dedication has been an inspiration to all who have witnessed your journey. Your legacy will endure as a testament to the heights that can be achieved through hard work, passion, and unwavering determination for the future athletes to come. As we recognize and celebrate your achievements tonight, let us also take a moment to reflect on the friendships forged, the lessons learned, and the memories created. Cherish these moments, for they are a testament to the power of sports. In conclusion, I personally would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to our senior athletes on their remarkable accomplishments. May this award ceremony serve as a reminder of the incredible potential each and every one of you possess, not only on the field, but in every aspect of your future. I look forward to seeing all of your successes in sports and life. And thank you all for joining us tonight and for supporting our athletes throughout their journey. Let the evening commence, And may it be a fitting tribute to the indomitable spirit of our senior athletes and the unwavering dedication of their families and coaches. I think next up is Chris. So I will turn it over to Chris Stein, and let's get the festivities started.
Promise I'll be quick. Good evening, parents, families, and coaches of the Potts Grove community, and good evening to you, our very talented athletes. This event truly showcases the commitment that all of the athletes have shown towards their sports over the past school year. Today, we are here to celebrate our student athletes, and a huge congratulations to all. You have definitely set a benchmark for other student athletes at the Potts Grove School District. We hope that you will continue to achieve brilliance in your respective sports, academics, and other endeavors you choose. On behalf of the administration, Dr. Smith, and our team here at the high school, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the efforts of our athletic director, Steve Ansbach, his team of coaches, and the Booster Club for making this special evening happen. I would also like to express my gratitude towards the volunteers and the families who have fulfilled their duties quite well. You did not fail to pick up or drop off at practice or an event, stop at Wawa, grab a Gatorade, a Shorty, pack of Sour Patch Kids, or for those willing to battle the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, you made sure that these kids were able to eat. For those that didn't make it home for dinner, staying late to practice, watch film, put in the extra effort. As a parent of 2 high school athletes, I feel your pain, so I'm well aware that this event would not have been possible without you and those who support our student athletes. I also want to thank all the athletes. As a building leader, former athlete and coach, I want to thank you for your commitment to your sport, your fellow athletes, and your school community. You have a greater impact on this building and its culture than you realize. Your positivity, resilience, and sportsmanship have a positive impact on our building. Your work ethic and good character on and off the field is contagious. It sets the tone for others and, in turn, the entire building. Trust me, this does not go unnoticed. Now, just to share a few stats, I know athletes like stats. Approximately 36% of high school students play a sport. At Potts Grove, we far exceed that 36%. High school athletes have a 91% graduation rate in comparison to 72% for those that do not play a sport. High school athletes have a higher GPA, better rates of attendance, lower dropout rate, higher college enrollment, and higher college graduation, and more likely to be involved in volunteer work and contribute to their communities. In short, you, the athletes in this room, have learned the value of hard work, commitment, and citizenship. You will carry these life lessons with you, and they will serve you well in whatever you choose to do. Congratulations again, and thank you for making Potts Grove High School an awesome place. Now, Steve Ansbach.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. I know many of you know who he is, but he is our assistant principal, first year with us here at Potts Grove. Dr. Finnerty wanted me to let everybody know he's not here today. There was a conflict of dates. He's at the Western Center tonight for their senior award, so he wanted to congratulate and thank the athletes, thank the parents, thank the coaches, and he also wanted to thank me and let everybody know that we have the best athletic director in the state of Pennsylvania. So I appreciate that from letting him know that. Now, all joking aside, parents, guardians, athletic staff, administration, school board of directors, and our 2023 senior athletic class, welcome to tonight's Booster Club senior athletics ceremony and the graduation season. As your athletic director, I always stand at these events humbled and grateful to celebrate our senior athletes. Can you believe our 4-year journey is coming to a close? My hope is only that your commitment to Potts Grove Athletics has helped you gain valuable life skills that will help you with future success as a person. As you leave the hallways, the locker rooms, the playing surfaces at the Grove, please use these skills as you continue your journey in various stages of life. Trust me, these skills learned through athletics pay off, as I personally rely on them every single day, as a parent, as a husband, as a colleague, and through our leadership efforts here at the Grove. Together, we have grown as individuals through participation in scholastic athletics. More importantly, our experiences and positive relationships amongst everybody involved, parents, coaches, student athletes, my athletic staff included, has continued our Potts Grove family atmosphere, which I personally can't be more proud of. Tonight, our senior athletes, all of them, will receive a plaque and a playing card Pretty cool playing card. I don't know if any of you have a playing card. That will celebrate all of your athletic accomplishments in scholastic sports. They represent hard work, dedication, and emotions that you have experienced as a student athlete. And I encourage you to look back at these plaques from time to time to remind yourself of the bonds you made with your teammates, your friends sitting next to you, your coaches, the competitions, and most importantly, the memories you had as a student athlete at Pottsgrove. I always tell our coaches to always hold on to thank you so I can hit on them to make their speeches focused on you. But I want to thank my wife and my two boys. They're not here because, as many parents know, when you have young kids, they're running around. So we got baseball practice tonight, and that's where my wife is. But I want to thank my wife and two boys for letting this be my second home and their constant support. Without their sacrifices, or with their sacrifices, they make me be the most successful person I can. So I'm grateful for them. Thank you to our Booster Club members, President Ms. Julie Shoemaker, Vice President Mr. Bob Coons, Mrs. Melanie Garrett, who is here, and all our parents that were setting up at about 4 o'clock today. Their efforts are outstanding, and if it wasn't for them and their investment in time and energy and fundraising, we wouldn't be here tonight. We wouldn't have these plaques because they take care of all that throughout the year, so I'm grateful for that. Our parents, thank you for serving such an important role through the development of your son and daughter. Every day, when we head out to practice or out to games and I see you, I am so grateful for your unwavering support for Pottsgrove Athletics and the conversations that we have. Athletes, we've always had a tradition here when we do these. Please, when you go home with your plaque tonight, I want you to thank your parents. Participation in scholastic sports or sports in general wouldn't be positive without them or possible without them. Their dedication, their investment to you, driving you to and from, spending money on you for your sticks, for your sneakers, for your athletic equipment, spending money to get you in certain teams, that wouldn't happen. So without them, sports wouldn't be a reality. So please go home, thank you, and tell them that you love them. To our school board of directors, thank you for your support in co-curricular programs. The value and participation in scholastic sports is huge, and I thank them for that. And to our administration team, thank you for the collaboration and support of our programs here at Pottsgrove. To our athletic staff sitting here, it takes a village to run an athletic department, from the coaching to the communication to the day in and day out asks of what scholastic sports in. I am grateful for every single one of you, and thank you for the sacrifices you make for our student athletes here at Pottsgrove. It's a privilege to work with each and every one of you. Mrs. Winter, who is here, she's at the door right behind famous Mr. Lou Hoffman. I want to thank Mrs. Winter. Come here, Mrs. Winter. Everybody's got to see you. Give her a round of applause. So Mrs. Winter has just completed her first year in the athletic department, and I'll say we stole her from facilities. And she went from a semi-quiet office and facilities to an athletic office that's pretty busy day in and day out, and I can tell you that her day goes much quicker now being in athletics. So thank you, and I tell Manny she is the face of the athletic department, so I'm glad everybody got to see her, and thank you very much. Cecilia Berg and Jana Strunk, and the associate service learner, Riley Kaleda. I want to thank you for helping us throughout the year, or this year, and personally reminding me of the importance of daily personal connections with students. We have learned a lot from all of us, and I look forward to those days when you were coming down so we can do some positive things for our athletic department. So thank you very much. As you can see, there's many thank yous and moving parts in the athletic department. We have an amazing team of people, and we work together for one common goal, and that's all of you. And now, our 2023 student athletes. Thank you for committing to Pottsgrove Athletics. You have done some wonderful things for our community, school district, and athletic programs. Throughout this year, we have focused on the we versus me. Please be reminded of this as you follow your journey through life. If you work hard and give great effort in all that you do, it will eventually pay off in some shape or form through your next chapter. Please be reminded of the following. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself in all that you do. Adversity and being uncomfortable at times is good because it makes you stronger as you grow outside of a student athlete at Pottsgrove. With the willingness and effort to achieve all of you sitting here can accomplish a lot in life. It has been a great 4-year ride. Thank you for being you, and go Grove. So, we are going to move into our coaches' speeches, and we're going to start. Last year was the spring, so we always rotate. So now we're going to go with the fall season, and Coach Harris is coming up to do cheerleading.
Good evening. I will be presenting the Fall and Winter Coaches Award. The recipient for the Fall Coaches Award goes to a young lady who served as one of the most outstanding student athletes. She has been on the team since her freshman year. She absolutely loves cheer and has been doing it since she was a little pea. We could see her love, her passion, and how she always wanted to be perfect at cheering. And because of that, she doubted herself and her strength and her ability there for a while. However, when she found her voice and her confidence, she excelled all around in cheerleading and continued to grow as a leader. She has demonstrated the ability to provide and maintain a great rapport with her coaches, administrators, and her peers. Her work ethic and outstanding personality earned her a captain role her senior year. She will be attending Westchester University in the fall to study psychology. The Fall Coaches Award goes to Ashley Daly. Okay, the recipient for the Winter Coaches Award. This young lady is simply amazing. She has a strong, positive personality, her characteristics, her motivational spirit. She was the captain for both her junior and senior year. She was an excellent leader, a motivator, an all-around student athlete. She always came to practice prepared, and her work ethic is through the roof. In addition to being captain, she was also crowned homecoming queen and prom queen, and will be studying political science at Chatham University in Pittsburgh. The Winter Coaches Award goes to Sydney Cox.
Thank you, Coach Harris. And now we're moving to Coach Dugan and cross country.
Our cross-country seniors had a lot to deal with this year. Between not having a coach for the first two months of summer training, and then having me and Coach Berwager join them in August, meeting everyone for the first time on the first day of mandatories. It was a pleasure getting to know Dan and Noel through their sophomore year being rearranged because of COVID, their freshman year being cut, and then as soon as normalcy returned, them getting an entirely new coaching staff. Their leadership and extensive Pottsgrove cross-country knowledge led me to really grow and cherish this sport, more than I already had. Coming from Pottstown, coming to Pottsgrove to coach was a huge change. I had coached collegiately as well at Cabrini, and this program grew something special to me, more so than anyone previously. Their leadership and determination to come out on top grew and drove them through an incredible season, placing 4th in the districts, as well as going with a 4-1 record for the boys. Daniel finally broke into 17s, and Noel back into the 22s. They had an incredible season, and it made me feel accomplished as a coach, especially a new one to the program. We survived many hiccups, new adventures, and unexpected surprises, but I felt so welcomed here because these two had taken on the program for 2 months entirely. The senior award goes to Dane Corman and Noelle Barone.
Our next sport will be field hockey. Coach Sproul. As Coach Sproul walks up here, I do want to thank her for her years of service to Pottsgrove Athletics. Coach Sproul is leaving the coaching world to head to the next chapter of her life and Penn State football games and whiteout. So thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
And since it's my last speech, I can thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you to the Booster Club, parents, everybody for your support. Every season it feels like we have to start over because we lose valuable, talented seniors. This season is no different. Our field players were comprised of 11 spirited seniors who were joined by 2 exceptional senior managers, Leah Hess and Leah Srar. Thank you so much for learning a complicated game so quickly, and for helping our team, Leah and Leah. Coach Bedard, Coach Kriebel, I'm so thankful that I had you both with me throughout my coaching career. You've been vital to the success of this team and so essential to me. I appreciate you both so much. The experience and leadership of this team got us to a 6-12 record with some very marginal losses. Our co-captains, Ava Sibley, Riley Kaleda, and Cece Berg, had their wits challenged by some very frustrating moments, but their hearts were always in it for the team. Lily Garrett and Tanya Stone shared goalie duties and did it with entertaining enthusiasm. They were always there to pick up their teammates' spirits and keep all heads in the game. Morgan Maxey and Miley Skechterly left blood, sweat, and tears on the turf, literally, accentuating the blood part. Kelsey Rohrbach and Megan Stone went wherever I needed them. Offense, defense, it didn't matter, they were ready at will. Ava Bond was always on her game, working her defensive magic and never backing down. But tonight, I would like to take a moment to recognize the wonderfully talented Dominique Parkinson. Dom was voted 2022 Frontier All-Division First Team for her self-sacrificing abilities and staggering 37 defensive saves. She was not a goalie. Dom, who always gave a smile and a nod no matter how frustrated we were during the halftime pep talk. Dom, who somehow managed to keep from joining Morgan and Miley in their blood loss, because you should have seen how she blocked some of those shots on goal. Dom, you are an enormous contributor to this team, not just with your athletic talent, but with your encouraging and respectable character. Thank you for helping us create a positive culture and for being an amazing role model to others. Congratulations, Dominique.
And now Coach Hawthorne with football. I think he cooled off. He came right off the football field. They just got done spring ball, so he had a bunch of beads of sweat coming off his head, but he looks good now. So.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you to the Booster Club for not only holding this special event for our senior student athletes, but also for the support that you give all of our sports programs throughout the year. The year where our football program fell short of its expectations with a 5-5 record, many of our players were still recognized with local, state, sportsmanship, and academic honors. Many will take their talents to the next level and excel just as they have done for the Falcons. But all of them know the meaning of teamwork and how important it is in order to be both successful both on the field and off. All of them know that being a good teammate and playing with class is more important than being a starter or being the star. These characteristics and traits are embraced and embodied by this year's award winner. In a society where many athletes worry about their own personal glory and statistics More than the team, this young man cared more about his team than he did himself. While many faced the adversity that this young man faced during his junior and senior seasons may have quit, he did the opposite. He worked harder. While some would have blamed coaches, doctors, life, or just about anything else for the circumstances that prevented him from playing on Friday nights for almost 2 consecutive seasons, he was loyal and supportive to the program, but more importantly, his teammates. While some in his situation would have skipped practices or sulked and been miserable, he did the opposite. He always had a smile and was there every day supporting his teammates. While some in his situation would have been angry and jealous of his teammates on game nights, he did the opposite. He encouraged and cheered them on. He's a quiet, unassuming young man who goes through every day giving it his all. He may not have the career honors and stats that many other members of his senior class have, but I can guarantee you that all of them will tell you that he was their unquestioned leader. This young man had a promising career for the Falcons as he earned a starting position at running back and strong safety entering both his junior and senior seasons. 2 of the most important positions on either side of the ball for a Pottsgrove football team. What he may not know is the coaching staff built both teams around this young man because of his selflessness and his leadership qualities. Unfortunately, both seasons were cut short due to season-ending injuries. A knee injury in the second game of his junior year and a gruesome broken arm in the first game of this past season against Methacton. This young man was told that he wouldn't play again after Methacton injury unless something miraculous occurred. Well, like the true champion that he is, this young man made his own miracle. He not only made it back to play through his own hard work and dedication, but he did so 3 weeks earlier than any doctor thought possible. Over those 2 seasons, he watched and supported his teammates as they enjoyed the thrill of victory many times. But none will compare to the excitement and the feeling that the coaching staff, teammates, and he himself felt when this young man ran onto the Upper Merion field with a full cast on, 2 steel bolts in his arm to play the first of final 3 games of his career. He made the most of that night by making numerous tackles and a game-changing interception that led to the game-winning touchdown. At the end of the game, as I approached him to congratulate him on his special night, all he said was, "We won, Coach, we won," in tears as he hugged his best friend and teammate, Corey Jubilee Scott. All of your teammates and coaches are proud of you. Every one of us has been inspired by your commitment and dedication. You'll never know how important you were to our team's and program success. In a time of world unrest and social and political division, I know our world will rise and prevail because of young men like yourself. I'm honored to present this award to Xavier Leibensberger.
Coach Rusevich in golf. Very popular, Coach Rusevich.
Always. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to our Booster Club for hosting this event, to recognize our wonderful seniors, and thank you to Mr. Ansbach for the incredible work you do to support our student athletes and coaches, and thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Mowry for sponsoring our award tonight. I would like to take this time to talk about one of the golf team's outstanding performers. Golf is an incredibly challenging sport. Not only are there physical tests that a player has to overcome, like judging distance, wind speed, and approach angle, all while walking 3 to 4 miles carrying 20-pound bag on your back. Those physical aspects of golf may be difficult for beginners of the sport, but they are minuscule compared to the mental challenges for a seasoned golfer like this year's award winner for golf. Our winner, just like everyone that has played the sport, had some ups and downs throughout the season. While this was my first year coaching golf, it is not my first time coaching, as I coached basketball at the JV and varsity levels for 5 years. And when it comes to facing adversity, this young man's response was unlike any other student athletes that I've witnessed. It was a gorgeous day at the very prestigious Gulf Mills Golf Club. This course was one of the most beautiful yet challenging courses I have been to, second only to Augusta National. If you aren't aware, Augusta National is where the Masters is played. So the level of difficulty at Gulf Mills is on par with what professional golfers face. This young man shot 13 over his average score on that day for a 53. That is enough to make any golfer put down the sticks or break them and walk away from the sport. A 53 might sound rough, but when your opponent shoots a 14 strokes worse than that for a 67, your round doesn't seem so bad. After the round, instead of sulking and complaining about how poorly of a performance he had, his response was one of compassion. This young man couldn't stop thinking about his opponent and how upset she was over her performance. He wanted to go check on her and make sure she was okay rather than being upset over his own bad round. He kept telling me, "I feel so bad for her. She was really upset. I hope she's doing okay." That is the kind of person this young man is. He cares about those around him and puts his well-being first. That was a very powerful moment, and I wish we all could have a similar response even in tough moments. That is just one example of, and one of the many incredible qualities that this young man possesses. If I had more time, I'd love to talk about him more. But let's all please give it up and recognize this year's recipient for the award in golf, Mr. Cooper Simon.
Because I'm around Cooper and his family enough. Cooper, I got one question, because I was with him after districts, and he told me that he would never pick up a golf club again. So have you picked up a golf club since October? He was out today. That's what I thought. We all know the game of golf, ups and downs. All right, boys soccer. Coach Bukowski.
A couple years ago, I switched to the glasses. I'm getting old. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Ansbach, the boosters, for the banquet every year. I'd also like to thank Coach Grimm and Coach Jeff. This is our 18th year together, I believe. And I'd like to just point out, Jeff will be retiring after this year. Thank you, Jeff. You know, working with these two guys has been an experience that I'll never forget. Okay. This year's award winner is an incredibly unselfish player. He'll play anywhere he's asked. He was the hardest worker and would play as long as he physically could. He also had a quiet type of leadership that earned the respect of his team. This year's award winner is Hunter Martinez.
Bring up Coach Meller and girls soccer. I'll keep it short because we'll get mad, but Coach Meller is leaving us, leaving our coaching world this year in his next chapter to coach his kids in sports. So, Coach, I thank you for your time and efforts here over the last couple of years. Thank you.
First, I would like to thank the Booster Club for hosting this event, the Pottsgrove Soccer Club for sponsoring this award, and Steve Ansbach for the job he does as athletic director. This year's award winner had to battle adversity just to get out on the field. Due to surgeries, she missed her sophomore and junior seasons. During these seasons, this player would show up at every possible practice and game to support the team. This speaks volumes of her character, as one of the hardest aspects of sports is to watch others play. After finally getting cleared by doctors, it was great to see her out there for her senior year, earning minutes and scoring some goals. We wish her the best in the next stage of life. It is with much respect that I announce this year's Girls Soccer Award winner, Lily Schuster.
just a side note, what we do for our athletes. So Lily had to work tonight, and she came to me, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but I said, well, let's work this out. That's problem solved. So I said, do you want a note with Pottsgrove letterhead signed by me? She said, yeah, can I get that? So we were in the office putting a note together so she could give to her place of employment, but that's what we do. Volleyball and Coach Reinhardt.
Here we go. All right, good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to give the Girls Volleyball Award tonight to one of my deserving seniors. I had 3 seniors on the team, and they all contributed greatly, so it was very difficult to choose just one. The Coach's Award for Volleyball is going to Chelsea Wozdick. Sorry. Chelsea started as our libero on varsity her sophomore year and never looked back. She's always the one who got to wear the different colored jersey, so as people come to games, they're like, why is that girl wearing a different color? She accumulated close to 700 digs in her career with Pottsgrove, and during her senior year, she was elected as captain by her teammates. Sorry, Chelsea. Chelsea was honored with the All-Academic Award for Girls Volleyball and was named to the 2nd team in the Frontier Division for the All-Pac Conference. Chelsea has been fearless and strong while playing libero, never afraid of what she faced on the court. I have no doubt that this mentality will continue for Chelsea and take her far with her academic career at Pitt and in life. Congratulations, Chelsea.
Okay, we are moving into our winter sports program. I'm going to start with girls basketball. I'm going to bring up Coach Brenglinger. As Coach Brenglinger walks up here, I think many of you know he is retiring. He's been with us for 20 plus years. He has done a phenomenal job. His dedication, his communication. There's so many positive things that obviously I could say about all our coaches, but with Coach Brenlinger's tenure here over the last 20 plus years, there's some big shoes to fill, and Coach, I'm grateful for what you have done. I'm sure he's going to say something about his sidekick, Coach Green, who's also not retiring from coaching entirely because we still have him for softball, but he's leaving the basketball world. So both coaches, thank you very much.
I'd like to also thank the Booster Club for all the help that they have given the programs throughout the years. The administration at Pottsgrove has been phenomenal, always backing the coaches. And special thanks to Mr. Ansbach, who, again, has just been great. He really cares about the athletes, cares about the programs. Any type of problem you have, you can always go to him, and he always helps you out with that. I'd also like to thank the sponsors for the basketball award, Anthony and Diane Cherico. And as Mr. Ansbach said, I'd like to thank Joe Green. I've been the head coach here for 21 years, and Joe has been with me for all 21 of those years. And it's just been invaluable. We were very active in the season. Out of the season, you know, we do a lot of stuff in summer leagues and open gyms and tournaments and so forth, and he's there all the time. So he's dedicated himself to the Pottsgrove program. I also like to thank my other assistant, Kari Ludi, who has been doing did a great job. She was player here for us and came back and coached with us. And she's going to continue to coach, I believe, so we're sure nothing but the best from there. 2 years ago, from a very good team, we graduated 10 seniors and all 5 starters. That left a huge gap in their playing time and their leadership. Luckily, we had some girls who were willing to step up and provide leadership. Getting girls to open gyms, signing up for summer league games, doing whatever they had to do to get people to participate. Although we were never able to get great numbers over the past 2 years, we were able to compete with all the teams on our schedule. Much of this credit goes to Aaliyah Friedman. She showed the younger girls the way to do things as a program. She led them both on the court and off. This past year, she led the team in scoring, 3-point field goals and steals, excuse me. She was second on the team in assists. She led the pack in three-point field goals and finished in the top 10 in scoring for the pack. She was selected first team all-division in the pack, also selected for the Citizen Award for Pottsgrove for the pack. Aaliyah has done a remarkable job over the years. She has been in the program. We have seen her improve both on the court and grow as a fine young lady. We are expecting great things from her in the future, which includes her attending East Stroudsburg University, and her major is exercise science. Aaliyah, would you please come up?
Boys basketball, Mr. Scott Palladino.
Before I present my Coach's Award tonight, I would like to thank a few people too. First and foremost, thank you to the Boosters Club for hosting this wonderful event. Also, thank you, Mr. Ansbach, for your countless hours that you put in throughout the year. He's very passionate about his job. He's always willing to help out, the coaches whenever necessary and listen to our concerns. Also want to thank my assistant coaches, Marcus Marshall, Chris Jackson, Earl Myers, Jim Algio, and Devin Barr for all their hard work that they've put in this past year. I appreciate everything that they do. And finally, I want to take this time to congratulate all the senior athletes here. Wish them the best of luck in whatever career path they choose. As a coach, you always want to surround yourself and your program with good people. The person that is receiving this award tonight was not only a positive influence on his team this year, but also served as a positive role model in his community, with many other young and up-and-coming basketball players that will eventually pass through the junior high and into the high school programs here at Pottsgrove. As a player for Pottsgrove, he began the season as a role player for our team. But he finished the second half of the season on most nights as our starting point guard. I won't stand up here and say that this individual wowed everyone with as our top scorer or leading rebounder. I won't say that this individual was our main lockdown defender or leader in steals. But what I can say about this individual is that he was perfect for our team. For starters, he showed up to every practice on time with a positive attitude and a dedicated work ethic. He also served as one of our captains. He helped mentor our young guys, and we had a lot of them, on the team with our playbook, leadership, and most importantly, how to be a good teammate. When called upon as a starter or role player, he was always a solid contributor in all facets of the game. You ask his coaches, especially me, and they will tell you that he's an absolute joy to coach. When we asked for feedback from his teammates, we heard words like selfless, calming, hard worker, dependable. When it came to his off-court contributions, this individual was second to none. Aside from being an honor roll student in the classroom the last 2 years, he's always been available and willing to give back and support our youth and our community. He actively committed his time to our high school basketball youth camp as a counselor and an instructor. He also regularly volunteered his time at my nonprofit, Pottstown Pride, and also LPAA as an evaluator before later becoming a referee and officiating Saturday morning games. He also helped out Coach Marshall coaching young basketball players at his developmental instructional basketball clinics. In closing, I would like to say it has been a great experience working with this young man. I will definitely miss our daily banter back and forth about his beloved one-time Super Bowl champion Eagles and my 5-time Super Bowl champion Cowboys. I also plan on keeping him on speed dial. He always had good, we'd always talk about fantasy football, and he always, give me his insights on who he's going to play this week and everything else. So I'm definitely going to miss that, and definitely going to keep him in mind as far as, referee availability. On behalf of the entire Pottsgrove basketball family, we want to wish all the success in the world as you embark on your next journey at St. Joseph's University. We have no doubt you will be a success. Our boys basketball award goes to Cooper Simon.
Boys and girls bowling, Coach Wikowski again.
All right. I'd like to start by thanking Mrs. Reinhardt, my assistant. She couldn't make it tonight, so I just, like to say thank you to her. This senior was a first-year varsity bowler. I'm going to start with the girl award, and I'll give the boys award next. She improved her score and got better each week. Her fun nature changed the atmosphere of the team. She made it a pleasure to come to practice and matches each day. I and the team would like to thank her for making this year so enjoyable. This year's award goes to Bella Nagy. This senior has been the face of Pottsgrove bowling over the past 4 years. He might even be the face of high school bowling in Pennsylvania. His career has multiple regional and state qualifiers, a second highest score at this year's state tournament, a second place state finish, an Eastern PA regional championship. He's a great bowler and even a better young man. He will be majoring in math and bowling for Southern Nazarene University in Oklahoma in the fall. David Swaley.
Coach Wright, indoor track, and we're also going to do spring track and field as well, so we keep them up here once.
Indoor track, okay. One, I'd like to thank the Booster Club for providing this event for the seniors. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Ansbach for being so supportive of the indoor and outdoor track and field team. The success of the track and field team would not be accomplished without the assistant coaches of Coach Underwood, Coach Grimm, Coach R, Coach Riley. They make this thing flow and make my job a lot easier. Now, for the indoor award, we did not have any senior girls, but for the young man that's going to get this award, he was part of the school record 4x200 meter relay. He's been with me for 3 years, even the 9-day COVID year he was here. And whenever I needed leadership, whenever I needed anything, I would lean on this young man to help the team, to help me. So the Winter Track Award winner, boys, is Demetrius Carter. Going into the spring season for the boys, last year, boys were 4-1. So what I put on their t-shirts was unfinished business. And unfinished business meant winning the Frontier and competing at the Pioneer Athletic Championships. For 2023, we did win the Frontier. And we gave our best, beating 4 out of the 6 Liberty teams at the Pioneer Athletics, coming in 3rd. The young man was the Pioneer Athletic champion in shot put, 2nd place in the disc. I've leaned on him when Coach Grimm was running a little bit late because he works a midnight shift job. And I've always had this young man, just make sure you supervise until Coach Grimm gets there. He qualified for states that he'll be competing in on Friday and Saturday. And the award winner for Spring Boys, Corey Jubilee Scott. And for my girls winner, she's been with me for 4 years. I lean on her for leadership. And actually, I love her integrity too. I'm one that likes free things. She works at the outlets. And she'll always tell me, oh, can't do it, Coach. I can give you the discount, can't do it free. But that just shows the integrity of this young lady. She was a district qualifier in 2023, our second longest long jumper, and just a friend to the program and to the other girls. The award winner for the Girls Spring Track Award, Sanaya Bellamy.
Coach Deal with swimming.
Tonight, we talk a lot about things like hard work, dedication, selflessness, sportsmanship, coachability, and leadership. For both our boys and girls team, these winners share all these characteristics, and there's something else that stood out about each one of them to me. Our girls winner stood out since freshman year, showing all these characteristics. And she also stands out a little bit because she shows these characteristics in multiple sports and other after-school activities. Our boys team winner stands out because of all these characteristics, but also because I've coached him since he was an 8 and under, and he still runs around with his teammates and has just as much fun goofing around as he did when he was an 8 and under, while still showing all those characteristics. So our award winners are Dom Parkinson and Declan Keener.
Coach Galata, wrestling. Coach Madden is in Key West right now having one of his annual good trips, so he called the backup in for our wrestling coaches award.
All right, so tonight's award, I'm just gonna, I don't really have a speech written, but I have a story or two. I got hired last year as the wrestling coach, head assistant, and coming in, it's trying to get the trust of the athletes. The first year, you don't really know how things are going to go. This athlete, I was trying to get the trust. Believe in what I am telling you. You got to believe in it, because if I'm believing in you, it doesn't matter for me. When you step on that mat, I'm not on the mat with you. We went through some up and downs. The major up and down we can laugh about on my birthday. He did not make weight. At that point, I was kind of, upset with him. He avoided me for a little bit. But over the summer, I talked to him a little bit more. We worked out more, got a little bit more of an understanding of what our goal is for this next year. Coming into the senior year, this athlete had a 35-7 record. He placed third at the Pottstown tournament. He was the runner-up at the PAC tournament, third at districts, and he was one match away from getting to states. He had a 93 30 overall record. And the one story I'm just going to tell before I announce his name, before our holiday tournament that he won, he came up to me and said, "Coach, I want to win this tournament today. I'm going to win this." And I said, "All right, let's do it." So we sat there, figured out match by match. Throughout these matches, 8-1, first round win. 17-2, Tech fall. He had a pin, minute and 15 seconds. Another pin, 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Followed up by another win, 3 minutes and 7-second pin. His last matchup was against the state qualifier. I asked coaches around the area, "Who do you think is going to win this match?" Not one person said his name. I said, "You guys watch and see." Not only did he just beat this guy, but it was a shutout. Trenton Allen, you beat that man that day 4-0, state qualifier, knocked him off. There's not many days where you can go into a tournament and say, "Hey, coach, I'm going to win this tournament." To have that, to believe in that, coming from junior year to our senior year, as a coach, you can't ask for more. So Trenton Allen, this is your award.
Moving into our spring sports programs, baseball, Coach Nash.
First off, I want to thank Coach Ansbach for all he did this season and every season, the school board, Pottsgrove Booster Club, and the administration for all they do. This season was definitely one of the more interesting ones in my 9 seasons here. This group of seniors had the huge hurdle of losing their freshman year due to COVID. By the time they came back and were sophomores, our upperclassmen groups were a bit light. That meant that 4 to 5 of them were going to have to jump from 7th, 8th grade baseball all the way to varsity baseball. Each of them had their struggles at times, but handled it admirably and made the triumphs that much better. Overall, the 9 seniors we had this year made it very difficult to only choose one for this award. However, based on the little bit I got to know this class as freshmen, I assure you tonight's winner, Ryan Van Bramer, would not have been my choice 4 years ago. A friend of mine teaches at the middle school, and she always asks me about the freshmen. When this group was freshmen, she asked me about them, and I told her about Ryan, and I had no idea what to make of this kid. He never smiled. Any coaching advice I would give him, he'd basically respond with a blank stare back at me. Fast forward 4 years later, and Ryan has been one of the best personalities and one of the best players I've had on and off the field. Ryan's consistently one of the best pitchers I've had to coach these past 4 years. Every time I called on him to pitch, I knew I was going to get a great effort and he was going to give us a shot to win. Defensively, Ryan was a sure thing whenever he played third base. Even after pitching, he'd never want to come out and usually ended up back out at third when he was done. Once or twice throughout the years, Ryan would have a couple games in a row off hitting and declare himself a pitcher only. But looking at his numbers over the year, he could always be counted on for a big hit. Everything Ryan accomplished between the lines was great, but his growth from his freshman year to where he was now as one of the leaders on the team his senior year was tremendous to watch. Ryan wasn't the loudest or the rah-rah type of leader, but he led by example with his work ethic and attitude. And when he did need to speak, his words carried some weight with everyone. Pottsgrove baseball is definitely in a better place thanks to Ryan's contribution over these past few years. Congratulations, Ryan.
We're trying to get Ryan a dollar raise at the place he works, but he just told me he has to call off for 3 weeks due to graduation and senior week activity, so not looking good. Sorry, Ryan. We'll keep working at it. Boys lacrosse, Coach Rattay.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. Coaching staff, students, parents, Booster Club, thank you guys for putting on this banquet. It's never easy looking back at a season with only 2 wins. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to look at the record and know how close you were in some games. It's always tough looking back and just knowing how close you were to a much, much better season. Without the seniors on the team this year, just keeping the younger kids heads up throughout some of the games, some of the struggles we had, it would have been a much more difficult season than it needed to be. We had 9 seniors this year, and without their leadership, it would have been tough to keep the freshmen on the team. They were at times just ready to kind of pack it in because it's not fun to lose. The young man that's going to be getting this award tonight is someone that pretty much as soon as last season ended, he was texting me, letting me know, hey, we need to get on the field, we need to do some summer work, we need to do some fall work. He was there for every practice, every off-season thing, just constantly reaching out, pulling me aside after practices, after games, letting me know how he thought practices went, how games went, trying to coach up from the sidelines, coaching up the younger players, and always just trying to be a role model, just showing kids how to do it the right way, regardless of how the stats were, how the game was going, regardless of who we were playing, just putting the work in, showing up every day, and not complaining if you're not getting your shots, getting your passes, whatever it might be. I wish this young man luck next year. I hope he stays in touch and lets me know how his season's going. Really excited to see what he can do at the next level. Dylan Batchy.
Coach Watson, girls lacrosse.
Okay, hi everyone. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Booster Club and Ansbach for your support this year. There you are. Truly, Ansbach, you've been tremendous and receptive throughout the whole season to my thoughts and ideas to move the girls lacrosse program forward. This year, I had the opportunity to advance into the role as head coach for the girls lacrosse program. Upon reviewing my expectations for the season, I emphasized the need for all to be coachable, to be respectful, and to be eager to try new things, and our seniors made that part of my job easy. Our senior leaders exhibited positivity, discipline, and stepped up when tasked with a drill that challenged their comfort and skill level in lacrosse. The senior class made a major impact on the field every day at practice and in games and set a positive example for our younger players. The recipient this year of the Girls Lacrosse Award will be presented to an athlete who actively listens, is motivated by the desire to compete, and who I never had to question, there you go, and who I never had to question, how is she going to play today? This athlete, Cecilia Berg, is a 2-time all-conference selection and shines silently on the lacrosse field. Cecilia asks questions and seeks an answer to gain a response to improve her level of play. Cecilia is willing to use criticism and feedback constructively and makes changes rather than excuses. Cecilia is fast, she's smart, she's versatile, she's strong, she's aggressive, which are leading attributes of a successful midfielder. Some may exhaust and look to rest among the continuous transition up and down the field, but not Cecilia. Cecilia was determined to get to both sides of the field to help her teammates, remaining humble and resilient, continually moving forward, executing the fundamental skills well and consistently. Cecilia is fearless and is not afraid to make mistakes. Cecilia, you've made a lasting impact on the Pottsgrove girls lacrosse team. Your coaches are very proud of all that you have accomplished, and we are confident that you, Cecilia, will shine as you transition forward into the next chapter of your life at Penn State.
Coach Bedard in our District 1 qualifier girls softball.
The softball team had 3 great seniors this season: Bella Nagy, Emily Doherty, and Caitlin Lopresti. Each of these three wonderful people brought something special to our team. The coaching staff would like to thank all three of these young ladies for their hard work and dedication to the program. It has been an honor to coach the three of you. We will miss you, and we wish you the very best of luck in your future. The Coaches Award winner this year for the softball team goes to a quiet leader who always led by example, held a positive attitude, and was an ideal teammate to her peers. This athlete's everyday approach was team-oriented. She made sure the team's responsibilities were taken care of. She never looked around to see who else would step up first. She knew what needed to be done, and she went for it. She is someone who works hard, cares about others, and is extremely dedicated. She plays the game the way it is meant to be played, with hustle, respect, and integrity. She has a great sense of humor, and she is very well respected by her teammates and coaching staff. You can tell by the way she plays the game and the way that she interacts with her teammates that she truly loves softball, and she plays for the love of the game and her teammates. I have so much respect for this young lady. I have no doubt that her qualities of perseverance, fearlessness, dedication, intelligence, and thoughtfulness will lead her to be successful in her quest to becoming the next best vet out there. Congratulations to this year's Softball Coaches Award winner, Caitlin Lopresti.
Boys tennis, Mr. Gus Tellis. As he walks up there, can we please give him a round of applause for what he does for our district and going above and beyond day in and day out with PCTV. Coach, I really appreciate, or we really appreciate what you do for us, so thank you. Do you need an assistant? Do you need an assistant?
Good evening, everybody. I'd just like to thank the administration, my assistant coach, Ryan Rambo, and of course, Steve Ansbach for all that they help us do in our sports. I am so incredibly blessed to do tennis for girls and boys at this school. It's been beautiful, a great thing. This past year, lightly, I'll just go over the girls' season quickly. I got that 2-minute memo. We're only allowed to talk 2 minutes. I'll go fast. Girls' season, bunch of new seniors came out, really special girls. I see them back there. They were a pleasure. They were just so awesome. They worked hard. And you know, taking up tennis your senior year and going up against experienced girls from Methacton, Phoenixville, and all those other Dynamo teams, it's hard. But they held it together. They made it fun for just themselves and myself, and that's a great thing. All right, moving on to the boys' season. We came in this year very, very, very green, inexperienced, with a great group of high-integrity boys. And we had a surprisingly good season. Not great, but good. Next year, we are going to ask a little more of these boys because they're all coming back, and I really expect good things. Now, the Senior Award winner for Coaches Award this year goes to Declan Tabor. He's a tremendous young man, and let me tell you a little bit about Declan. His first year with us, 4 years ago, he was the bottom JV. He was as low as JV goes. He's the guy that you wouldn't even notice wasn't on the bus. Do you know what I mean? But he was quiet, hardworking, and as he grew into the tennis program, as he got better, he was still a quiet, awesome young man. And as a senior, he carried himself so beautifully. I've had a lot of different people be captains on this team, and I was privileged and very happy to make Declan our captain this year. And to cap it all off, Declan quietly came to me and said, "Hey, I want to compete for the district championship with another guy than the guy you put me with. I generally don't yield to this stuff, but I did for him because he's such a great guy." And it turned out that that tandem made it to districts, and that was a really nice experience for him and us. And He's going to go far in life. I'm just blessed to have him. Thank you. Thanks, man. You got it.
We did have a girls recipient. She was unable to attend tonight. It was Vienna Lee, so we will be giving her plaque next week during graduation. So that was our girls recipient for girls tennis. We are moving into a segment of this ceremony where each registered athlete will receive a plaque for their years of service as a Pottsgrove athlete, and they will also receive a player card, all sponsored by the Booster Club. So here's what I ask student athletes. As you come up, please enter the stage from facing left. Mr. Coons will give you a plaque, and then you can walk to sit down. Parents, feel free to get a quick picture with Mr. Coons as he's handing out the award. We will be here for a while after the event, so there's a variety of areas where you can take your picture. So student athletes, as I call your name, please come up and grab your plaque and trading card. Trenton Allen, football and wrestling. Go this way. Noel Barone, cross country and track. Dylan Batchy, football and boys lacrosse. Again, all sports they participated in through their scholastic year at the Grove. Sanaya Bellamy, track, field. Ava Bond, field hockey and girls lacrosse. Coda Brown, golf and baseball. Amir Brunson, football and track and field. Cecilia Berg, field hockey and girls lacrosse. Sydney Cox, cheerleading in the fall, cheerleading in the winter. Track and field, and was also the baseball manager this year. Julia D'Agostino, girls soccer, also unified track and field this year. Ashley Daly, fall cheerleading and winter cheerleading. Dominic D'Amito, football and wrestling. Emily Doherty, girls basketball and softball. Aaliyah Freeman, girls basketball. Nick Freeze, bowling and baseball. I told Nick earlier he does know what business casual means, so great job, buddy. Colson Gale, football and lacrosse. Lily Garrett, field hockey and girls lacrosse. Leah Henses, soccer and winter track. Leah Hess, girls lacrosse. Corey Jubilee Scott, football and track and field. Riley Kaleda, field hockey and girls lacrosse. Declan Keener, swimming.
There you go, buddy. Congratulations.
Good.
Yep. Corey was in a different box.
Joey Kibler, football, played basketball, did winter track and spring track. Danielle Corman, cross country, swimming, and participated in track. Sydney Cote, tennis. Vanessa Latshaw, tennis. AJ Latanzi, boys soccer and boys lacrosse. Xavier Leibensberger, football and track. Caitlin Lopresti, softball. Hunter Martinez, boys soccer. Morgan Maxey, field hockey. James McLaughlin, football. Bella Nagy, tennis, bowling, and softball. Kelly Nyhart, soccer and track and field. Dominic Parkinson, field hockey and girls lacrosse. Dylan Pino, boys golf, basketball and baseball. Jose Perla, soccer. Glenwood Bubba Peischer, baseball. Evan Radamicki, baseball. Brendan Rivera, wrestling. Chris Roscoe, soccer and baseball. Peyton Shoemaker, girls soccer. Lily Schuster, girls soccer. Ava Sibley, field hockey. Jack Silvestri, golf and boys lacrosse. Cooper Simon, golf, basketball, and baseball. Layla Swore, girls lacrosse. Tanya Stone, field hockey and swimming. Megan Stone, field hockey and swimming. David Swavely, bowling. Declan Tabor, tennis. Zachary Tyson, baseball. Ryan Van Bramer, baseball. We got a line here, huh?
Give them in reverse order of what you're calling. Right?
Try my best.
Who's this, Jack?
Xavier Walker, cross country, wrestling, and track. Chelsea Wozniak, volleyball. Dominic Wright, winter track and spring track. Demetrius Carter, football, winter track, and track. And Kayvon Chin, soccer, bowling, and tennis.
We still need flags for you. Dominic? Here's your card.
I don't think I missed anybody, did I?
I think all the flags are there.
Okay.
I need to get somebody's card.
Okay. All right, at this time, we're going to bring up the Thompson family to hand out the Love of the Game Award in memory of Mr. McMenamin.
John McMenamin was a compassionate, dedicated, and widely respected father, husband, youth coach, and community member before his sudden and unexpected death from a heart attack in November of 2020. Coach John, as he was known to young athletes of Pottsgrove Little League and LPAA basketball, served for decades as a model of citizenship, integrity, and selflessness in these roles, leaving a lasting impression on the lives of countless youth and families from the Pottsgrove community. Coach John was a tireless advocate for the underdog, a young person who might not have superior talent, but who simply desired to be part of a team and enjoyed playing their sport of choice. Coach John often used unconventional tools, strategies, and philosophies to teach life skills such as sportsmanship, resilience, and striving to do one's best in the context of the sport he coached, never losing sight of the critical importance of keeping young people engaged and interested in continuing to play their sport for years to come. While his methods and approach were different from a majority of youth coaches who favored the traditional and sadly predominant philosophy of winning at all costs, Coach John did gain a following over time. Through fellow coaches and coaches new to volunteering who witnessed the impact of his efforts and adopted similar styles and purposes, Coach John's legacy proudly lives on in our community. The Coach John J. McMenamin for Love of the Game Award was created to recognize Pottsgrove High School student athletes from the senior class who exemplify the qualities of passion, sportsmanship, commitment, and team spirit as participants in their sports. In short, playing for love of the game is an unmistakable characteristic of the student athletes receiving this award. I'm proud to present the Coach John J. McMenamin for Love of the Game Award to this year's recipients, Isabella Nagy and Isaac Kumpf.
Hello, everybody. I'm back. Obviously, I'm not good at handing out plaques very quickly, so as I have 3 awards that I'm going to present in a row here. So as I name these 3 winners, could you all just stay on the stage, and then we'll get a picture after so that I can be the picture. So the first award I have is the Ray Goffis Award. This award was created to honor one senior parent, guardian, or supporter who has contributed an extraordinary level of dedication to Pottsgrove athletics by selflessly giving their time through volunteerism, sportsmanship, and serving as a positive example for all our community. Nominees are selected by the Pottsgrove athletics staff, and the recipient of the award is voted on by the Booster Club. During my time with the Booster Club, this year's winner has always been willing to raise their hand when the Booster Club needs help. She was one of the first parents I met in the Spiritwear Shack when I joined the Booster Club 5-6 years ago. When we would put a call out on Facebook for volunteers, I could always count on her showing up with a smile. She would always volunteer to help with wrestling and basketball concessions, even when she didn't have an athlete playing. For our football team, her family could be counted on to help with Friday night football dinners and making sure our lax athletes were taken care of for games. It would not be uncommon, as I was picking up my kid from football practice, that I would see her and her husband running over to the trainer's room to get ice to make sure the lacrosse athletes were taken care of. Her family has been a great supporter of Pottsgrove athletics. So it is with great pleasure that the Booster Club recognizes Laura Gale. as the 2023 Goffis Award winner. Laura, thank you for all you've done for Pottsgrove and for all our senior athletes over the years. Next, it is my privilege to present the Falcon Award to one male and one female athlete. This is an accolade that recognizes not only exceptional athletic ability, but also the embodiment of the finest qualities of scholastic athletics. This award is reserved for an athlete who exemplifies dedication, sportsmanship, commitment, cooperation, and teamwork. They're not always the best player on the team, but this is the player that you need on your team to be successful. This year, we have two extraordinary recipients who embody all the attributes and more. First, although our female athlete was not at PG for her whole 4 years, her impact was immediate and undeniable from the moment she became a Falcon. From the very first team event, she showcased her remarkable dedication and commitment to her sport. Her presence was felt at every practice, every open gym, every clinic, every summer league game, and every tournament. She never missed an opportunity to hone her skills, always demonstrating a strong work ethic and unwavering determination. What truly sets this athlete apart is her coachability. She possessed a genuine eagerness to learn and grow, always seeking guidance from the coaching staff to enhance her performance. Her humility and willingness to listen allowed her to absorb invaluable insights and translate them into tangible improvements on the field or court. She recognized that there was always room for growth and never shied away from pushing herself beyond her limits. In addition to her individual accomplishments, this athlete displayed an extraordinary ability to foster positive relationships with her teammates and embrace the concept of teamwork wholeheartedly, understanding that success is built on collaboration and collective effort. Furthermore, this athlete's character shone brightly through her time with us, although short. She approached every challenge with positive attitude, never allowing external factors to affect her performance. She consistently exhibited the highest standards of sportsmanship, treating opponents and coaches with the utmost respect and integrity. This year's Female Falcon Award winner is Emily Daugherty. She has set an example for future athletes to follow, not only through her exceptional athletic ability, but also through her outstanding character. Congratulations, Emily. And finally, for our male Falcon winner, it is my honor and privilege to recognize a remarkable individual who has left an indelible mark on Pottsgrove athletics. This player embodies the values of hard work, selflessness, and leadership, making them a true asset to our program. The recipient of this award is someone who consistently went above and beyond, pushing themselves to the limits and demonstrating an unparalleled work ethic. They epitomize what it is meant to be the hardest worker on the team. Their dedication and commitment are truly commendable, as they always put the team needs first above their own. One of the most admirable qualities of this player is their unselfishness. They selflessly accepted any role assigned to them and never hesitated to step up when the team needed. During their senior year, this player made a significant impact by helping secure several crucial victories that played a pivotal role in triumphs over formidable opponents, such as PJP and Upper Perk. Their contributions were instrumental in their team's success, and their unwavering commitment to the team was uninspiring. One of the coaches said to me, if I could have 11 of these players, I could go win the pack every year. So it is my honor to present Kayvon Chin, our Falcon Award winner. So I will turn it over to Mr. Ansbach for the MDT. Oh, one thing I did want to mention for the Falcon Award, each of the winners do receive a $250 scholarship to go with the trophy.
Okay, on to our 2022-23 Athlete of the Year. The Athlete of the Year honors are awarded to the top male and female athlete as voted on by the coaches. Each recipient receives a trophy and a $150 check, and the awards are sponsored by the Goffis family in honor of the late Ray Goffis, who was one of the founding members of the Pottsgrove Athletic Booster Club. As an alumni, nothing gave him more joy than celebrating Pottsgrove athletics. I have even been told when he can no longer walk, he would drive to our Friday night football games, and in the parking lot space in front of the fence saved for him, he would sit there and watch as long as he could. Mr. Goffis would have loved to watch this year's male and female athletes of the year compete in scholastic athletics. First, they are versatile, they play multiple sports, they're individuals who put their teammates before themselves, they make everybody around them better, and constantly have a smile on their face. They're true competitors who lead by example. Their hard work, character, and leadership that they display on a constant basis drove their individual and team performances to new heights. This year's Female Athlete of the Year lives for the big moment and delivers when it arrives. One of her coaches described her as a natural-born leader who puts the team before herself. She has provided leadership for the younger athletes with class and grace. Another coach described her as one of the greatest to ever wear the Pottsgrove jersey in the sport that she participated in. This Female Athlete of the Year is a 4-year starter in the sport of girls soccer, can run a 400-meter run in 64 seconds and an 800-meter run in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. She has earned 7 varsity letters in her career and has been selected to the PAC, a Pioneer Athletic first team division once and the second team division twice. More importantly, this student athlete carries a 5.0 GPA in the classroom and is second in her senior class. She will be attending Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. This year's Female Athlete of the Year, Kelly Nyhart. This year's Male Athlete of the Year was described by one of his coaches as a selfless teammate, one who sacrificed personal glory for team success in a heartbeat, thus earning his teammates and coaches' respect. He was one that changed his work ethic and commitment to his craft after his junior year to take his athletic success to the next level. One coach said he was willing to do what it takes to achieve his goals. He has earned 7 varsity letters in his career. He has been named to the Pioneer Athletic Conference first team All-Division 5 times and second team All-Division once in the sports of football and wrestling. He's a 3-year starter playing football in the trenches for our Falcon football team. He's a 2-time Governor Mifflin Holiday wrestling champion in the 215 weight class. He's a 2022 Pioneer Athletic Conference and District 1 Section North champion. He's a 2023 runner-up in the Pioneer Athletic Conference and District 1 North Tournament. And his last, and my guess, most memorable accomplishment was when he placed 4th this year in the Southeast Regional Tournament, which qualified him for the PIAA 3A State Wrestling Tournament in Hershey. This year's Male Athlete of the Year is Dominic Domino.
Okay, everybody, that is all our awards for tonight. We do have, before we all leave, we do have in the auxiliary gym, there's pizza, cornhole, drinks, You can all go and enjoy as long as you want. Any the parents, any of you want to come up and take pictures with your seniors, you can. I just want to ask, could all the winners for the Coaches Awards and the Falcon Award and MVP Awards please stay? We want to get one picture of all of you together. I need to put you in the program for next year. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. And thank you all our seniors for all that you've done over the last 4 years. So everyone enjoy. See you again next year.